What's up guys, it's Rourke here, and this is a very, very special video. For those of you who've been following me for a few months now, or if you just found the page today, I'm going to explain to all of you exactly how I went from the guy who was not happy with his physique, the guy who'd been training for 1 year and saw no progress, and then take it to the guy who got absolutely ripped, the guy who's super happy with his physique, super happy with what he sculpted, and quite frankly, if I take my shirt off, I feel great. So here's the thing, the video is 30 minutes long, so if you're here for a quick dopamine rush, this is not the video for you. It's uncut, no edits, no music, but there's so much value to extract from the video. And to be honest, if you can't sit down and watch a 30-minute video, you're not ready mentally or physically for this transformation. So if you are ready, what I'd recommend is you sit down, you get a piece of paper, you get a pen, and you try and take as many notes as possible. Let's get into it. Alright, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to explain exactly how I gained 50 pounds of muscle all naturally, whilst getting abs and never plateauing. Because plateauing is not real. Using the next level physique protocol. Okay, so how? I've been training for 8 years. Since I was 13. I'm 21 years old, right? And I often found I was repeating the same year over and over again. So look at this picture here. In 2021, I looked alright. Like, I looked fine. I wasn't like, super massive, but I trained a little bit. Okay, but in that picture you can see on the shirt, my arms just don't look that big. And what's funny is I literally had the same physique for 1 year straight. From 2020, in the lockdown, to 2021 then, I literally made no progress. And I trained in the gym every single week, till failure. But it wasn't working. That was when I realised that effort was not the problem. The system I was using was the problem, right? And everything changed when I stopped guessing and I actually followed a progression-based method. Who this is for? So, if you want to add tons of muscle, so you look big in a regular t-shirt, outside of training in the gym, so you actually look like you're lifting, then this is for you. If you want to take your shirt off in public and show the world a hard-earned six-pack, then this is for you. And I'm talking on the beach when you got a thick-cut six-pack, you're the guy with that 6 to 8-pack abs, right? If you want a sculpted physique so aesthetic that women can't help but take looks at you during conversations with you, then this is for you. Like, I would literally be in a conversation with a girl sometimes, and I can see her looking at my arms. Or I can see them looking at my abs, because it's like they're like popping through the shirt. Like, it sounds like a small thing, but, this is for you if you think, yeah, that would actually be pretty cool. I actually wouldn't mind that, Then this is definitely for you, right? If you're looking to never plateau again, as I said, because plateaus aren't real, in the physique, in terms of your physique and in terms of your lifts, this video is for you, right? Because there are so many different ways to combat plateaus, which I'll go over in this video. If you do all of these methods, plateau won't happen, right? If you want to build the body of your dreams without the guesswork of what to eat or how to work out, this video is for you. Who this is not for? If you're looking for a quick, easy way to get shredded, this is not for you, right? If you're only looking to be committed 50% of the time, here and there, whenever you feel like it, this is not for you. If you're stuck in your own ways and not willing to improve because, you're too stubborn with them, then this video is not for you. But here's the truth, right? Everyone thinks you need, good genetics, 3 protein shakes every day, and to hop on juice, to hop on the steroids in order to actually get jacked. That's a complete lie, right? All you need to do is find nutrient-dense whole foods, which will give you complete protein and boost your testosterone. Right, I'm talking single ingredient foods, which are either, when you're eating stuff from the ground, or you eat animals, which ate food which grew from the ground, right? It's that simple, okay? Like, obviously, it's mainly based around the animal proteins is what you'll find out. Also, effective workouts which force muscle growth. And by force muscle growth, I mean that it's inevitable, right? Not like you train and you hope you get big. I'm talking it is like inevitable that you're going to gain muscle because of your perfect training, right? And like you've actually got the training seriously there. And lastly, to make it a consistent lifestyle so you can easily be the guy who shows up day in, day out, right? The thing is, the whole point of this is that it's easy to be consistent because it's so doable and so implementable. Like, you don't want to just have a program where it's like you're spending 3 hours in the gym and you eat the perfect foods 100% because then no one will stick to it. right? Like, you want to make this which can fit for you, and it's a lifelong change. In case you don't know me, here's a brief backstory about how I got here. So I actually started off really, really skinny. I was skin and bones. Look at this picture. This is 1 year into training, right? So this isn't like, I just started right there. This is me after deliberately trying to put on muscle for 1 year. So you can see a little bit of a frame, but I was about 56 kgs at 5'9". Very skinny. I started training in the gym, putting on some muscle, and it worked. I did get some muscle. It took a lot of trial and error though, right? This is 3 years into training, and this picture in the blue shorts is 5 years into training, right? So then I went to uni, and obviously I drank loads and absolutely sent it, right? It was awesome. It was super good fun, and it was super sick. Like, it was just one of those experiences which was fun. But I lost some gains, and I still trained, but it wasn't the most optimal environment when you're getting that drunk, and your diet isn't as good. And I actually came home from uni, and my lifts had gone down, and that's after 3 months. And I've never had that before, where after 3 months my lifts went down from like a period of time, right? So I kind of went into panic mode, and I went on a huge bulk, like an absolutely massive bulk. That's where I look here. I ate 5,000 calories a day clean, no excuses, every single day for 3 months. I gained around like 12 kilos in 3 months. It was crazy. And I did not need to do all that. Because when I cut, I basically just lost the weight, and I lost like a little bit of muscle and just was right back to where I was before. It was stupid. Like, you don't need to go on these big bolts, big cuts, all that shit. You just need the right system in place to progressively overload and hit your protein every day, right? So I'm actually still at uni now in my final year, whilst running my online one-on-one coaching business, right? That's more of a priority for me than getting blackout drunk, pretty much. The next level physique protocol is my system I built through my own trial and error by finding out the perfect diet, training, and consistency blueprint. And now I'm breaking it down for all of you guys for free. So these are the 4 pillars, okay? And they all rely on each other. So if you think, oh, I'm going to get 3 out of 4 perfects, that's just stupid, because they all literally rely on each other to work. Like, you need to do all 4, and then you'll reap all the benefits. If you do 3 out of 4, like, you're going to reap way less benefits, okay? So there's obviously nutrition, progression-driven training, recovery, and consistency. Okay, so protein is non-negotiable, right? Like, I'll make this clear, and it's the first bullet point, which I'll just double down on this. If you aren't growing, then you're dying. Like, you absolutely have to hit your protein. If you don't hit your protein day in, day out, you won't make anywhere remotely close to the gains you want. Like, this is just, you just take this one sentence from the video, that you have to hit your protein every day. Because if you don't hit your protein, you have the perfect training, perfect recovery, and be consistent, and you will make barely any gains, because your body's not in a position to put on muscle. Okay, 1 gram per pound for protein, right? It's that simple. Like, that's all you need to stick to. And like I said, if you don't hit your protein, nothing else matters. Okay, and now this is the junk food rule. This is what I stick by, and this is what my clients usually stick by. It is such a good rule. It's where when you're by yourself, you eat clean. You eat what you've been recommended. The eggs, the red meat, the fruits, the veggies, okay? You stick to your diet when it's by yourself on a random Tuesday evening. Because if you're alone on a random evening and you order in junk food, or you go get a McDonald's, what is the point? The only positive to getting junk food is that it tastes nice. So you're basically saying, I want this instant gratification to make myself feel good by eating a bunch of shit. It's not balance. It's not being, chilled out and living life. You're just showing a lack of discipline when you're eating junk food. The only time you should be eating junk food is on social occasions when you're with friends. And I'll actually double down on that and say, don't even feel guilty. Just eat that shit and enjoy it with your friends. Because the whole point of eating well is then you can enjoy the moments like this. Like, technically, even bodybuilders eat well so they can enjoy the moment on stage Like when people take pictures of them and then they can look at it after. It's like that's like enjoying the moment because they can review the pictures, right? Like I used to smash a Domino's or a cheat meal, by myself every single week, and I wondered why I couldn't get shredded. And it was like 1 + 1 is 2. Obviously, I'm not going to get shredded if I'm eating a Domino's every single week. Okay? The main thing is when you're by yourself, only eat real food. Simple as that. Okay. This is my main framework for diet. Is eating like an adult and not a monk. Okay, I call it the disciplined nutrition spectrum. So you've got two ends to it. You've got protein from anything, like horse shit. It could be protein from anything, McDonald's, KFC, however, right? As long as you get your protein, it doesn't matter. And then you got the guys, the wellness guys, right on the far end, who, it has to be farm raised, farm blessed, organic, everything. Like, fresh from the farm, right? 100% perfect. You don't have to be that extreme to get jacked. I don't even eat that extreme myself. And I've seen amazing results. You just have to be eating, right, eggs, red meat, chicken, fish, dairy, good carbs like rice, potato, sweet potato, fruit, veggies. Okay? Doesn't have to be fresh from the farm. Right? We live in the 60 to 90% range as stated there. In this circle here. That's where you need to fall. For example, like if you fall here and you're close to the 50%, that probably means that your diet is 95% perfect and maybe you have a scoop of protein powder or maybe you have a couple slices of chocolate before you go to bed, but everything else is perfect, right? That's what I mean. And then the guys who are like 75, 80, 90% are just the guys who just eat that perfect diet, only go out socially, occasionally, and they have a nice meal with their friends, but when they're by themselves, it's 100% perfect, right? You're allowed to season your food. Salt, pepper, obviously, herbs, paprika, Tabasco. All of these natural seasonings are good. The shit which isn't good are the junk-filled, high-calorie sauces. Like, so many of my clients they've been eating perfectly before working with me, but then they put a bunch of sauce on their food, and like, that literally adds a couple hundred calories and puts them in maintenance. That's why they're plateauing and can't lose weight. You want to be stacking all the odds in your favour with everything you do. So why on earth would you put a high calorie sauce with your food when that's adding loads of calories to your meal? It does not make sense, right? That's one thing you need to avoid 100%. And in terms of training, right? Progression is the stimulus, okay? This is my favourite saying in terms of training. To build muscle you've never had, you must lift weights you've never lifted, right? And this isn't about ego lifting and being stupid, okay? This is about keeping form the same and pushing weights up over time. Progressive overload is the main thing you need to focus on with your training, okay? That is the be all and end all. If you aren't progressively overloading, you're not going to be putting on muscle. It's as simple as that, right? Same weights, same body. If you're the guy who lifts the same weights week in, week out, you're going to look the same by the end of the year because you're lifting all the same weights, right? The basic framework, which you have to stick by, is you fail within 4 to 9 reps on every single exercise. Yes, even bicep curls. I'll do a set of 5 reps for bicep curls. Why? Because the last 5 reps to failure are the most hypertrophic reps. So after that 5 reps, like, yeah, you can do 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever, 10. That's cool, but the last 5 are the most significant. So they're the ones which matter. So that's why I do the 4 to 9 rep rate. You don't need to do 15 reps because the first 10 are just pointless, right? Obviously, you're going to choose a weight where you get like 7 or 8. That's perfect. So you want to stick to that 4 to 9 reps. Keep the form standardized. That doesn't mean 100% perfect form. That just means your form is good and form you can stick to long term on any weight you do, provided you fail 4 to 9 reps. Okay. And lastly, which is very obvious, hence the progressive overload sentence, but increase weight over time. The weight has to increase for your adaptations. People say shock the muscle, when they switch exercise. That's not how you shock the muscle. You shock the muscle by increasing weight over time, and then your body is forced to adapt because then your chest doesn't have a brain. It doesn't think, oh shit, I'm doing a different exercise now, I'm gonna have to grow. Your chest thinks, oh shit, I'm pushing more weight. Like, now I fucking have to grow. Because it physically has to adapt to get over that new weight, okay? The way I train is low volume, high output, and The way I actually get the high output is using the smart split, not these stupid splits which you can see here. But the basic and main thing to know is that more is not better. Better is better, right? You like just rinsing and repeating all the same exercises and just adding as much exercises to your training regime as possible is not the way to go. If you're the guy who adds like 100 sets of fucking different bicep exercises, that doesn't mean you're gonna get the world's biggest biceps. There can be a guy who does 2 sets and gets more gains than the guy who does 20 sets. Because if the guy who's doing 2 working sets, he warms up properly and progressively overloads week in, week out, and the guy who does 20 sets does it with a lightweight and is far from failure, the guy who does 2 sets is going to make more gains. Okay? You need to structured warm ups in place. Because what's funny is what you'll realize you only need 2 working sets when you've actually prepared for the exercise and sets properly. You need to do structured warm up sets. You do a lightweight for like 8 reps, and then you make it heavier and get it for about 2, and then you're going to rest for a bit, and then you go into your actual working sets. And then you're warmed up and you're ready to go. But you have to do warm up sets before every single exercise. Picture this. When you went for a bench press PR back in the day, did you just go and raw dog the PR? No, you didn't. You warmed up, you built up to it, and then you went all in. Why don't you do that for every exercise you do? Ever. Imagine you went all in on bicep curls. You're like, fuck this, I'm going to get a warm up set, and then do another warm up set slightly heavier, and then go into my working set and go all in on my working set. Like in that 4 to 9 rep range. And then I'll rest 3 minutes. And then I'll do that again. And then I'll repeat that week in, week out. Your biceps will get massive. Okay? Like they will get so big. And yes, you can do it within the 4 to 9 rep range for biceps. If you warm them up properly, they won't get injured. Touch wood. I've been training for 8 years and not had a gym related injury. And I'm touching wood right now. Like obviously the camera isn't showing, but I'm telling you I'm touching wood. Okay? And in terms of split, so like split really, really matters, the workout split you use. Because the whole point in optimizing your lifts is so you can actually, it's through the right split, right? Like let's say you do a bunch of back movements. Your biceps are going to get tired, right? And then your smart ass, goes to hit biceps after doing all the back movements. Your biceps are tired. They're not going to be able to overcome as much force. Like when you hit biceps on a different day to back, you will single-handedly be able to add a couple kilos to your bicep curl. And what do you think that's going to mean for your bicep growth? Obviously, they're going to grow and they're going to get bigger. Okay, so PPL, Bro Split, Arnold Split are all outdated, and I know that's very controversial. But that, like, with me and all of my clients, when they use my structure, when I use my own structure, yeah, like the results you get and the progressive overload you get in your lifts is unmatched. And you will single-handedly realize, oh my god, I never knew I could progress this much. Like, people think that I'm crazy when I say you can go from a 20 kg dumbbell bench to a 50 kg dumbbell bench in 6 months. You can do that. That means by the summertime, where this video is filmed, so just before the end of 2025, you could go from a 20 kg dumbbell bench to a 50 kilo dumbbell bench. That is like years of experience in the gym in a 6-month period, and probably even less, right? You just need to know how to progress and have the right split, and then you stick by it week by week. You show up every single day, right? The structure for my workout is chest and arms, okay, legs or rest day if you don't like hitting legs. If you're one of those guys who that's not a priority for, that's fine. I'll adapt it. And then you have back and shoulders, but it has 1 tricep, 1 bicep exercise. This is to add extra volume for the arms because the arms can recover quicker. And who doesn't want, bigger arms? You can't get 2 bigger arms naturally, especially, right? And then you rest and repeat it. That's the framework. That's the split you need to follow by. And you will very quickly realize, oh shit, my chest presses have gone up. And then on the back and shoulder day, your shoulder presses have gone up. So that upper body's going to get way bigger, like way bigger. And then your back's going to get way bigger as well. And your arms are going to get bigger because they're on a separate day to your back. And they hit more frequently, once every 2 days. It's crazy. By the way, on the chest and arms day, you hit abs. And on the back and shoulders day, you hit abs. That wasn't mentioned because I don't really mention like abs in the name. But always start with 2 sets of abs at the start of your chest and arm day and at the start of your back and shoulder day. And then that will give you the 6 pack abs. Because you don't do ab circuits. You train abs like they're your biceps, like they're your chest, like a proper muscle. 2 sets till failure. Okay? Now, recovery. This is your training. Everyone knows muscle is grown outside of the gym. When you're in the gym, your muscles get torn down, get broken down. What matters is outside of the gym, your recovery. Because if your recovery is trash, then you're training hard and eating well for no reason. Because then your muscles can't grow, right? So you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And I will be clear. This is 7 to 9 hours of good sleep. Because if it's 7 to 9 hours of poor sleep, then you're not going to reap as many benefits. And there's going to be people out there who are actually getting sleep, like getting less sleep, but making the same progress as you. So if you're getting all that sleep, you want to make sure that it's all good, right? And how are you going to get the quality sleep is by taping your mouth, by wearing an eye mask, wearing earplugs, and taking magnesium glycinate. Okay? Those 4 things are the main parts to really level up your sleep. Okay? Obviously, if you have a girl in the room, you don't need to tape your mouth, right? And wear earplugs and eye mask and whatever, right? But when it's just you should be wearing that every single night. It will completely level up your sleep, right? This is literally just science. It's your parasympathetic nervous system. It gets activated way more deeply when you actually you follow all of these tasks. Okay, and then phone on airplane mode / do not disturb. If you have kids, then yeah, completely understandable. You want to have your phone there just in case. But if you know that you don't need to be speaking to anyone over the evening, I'll definitely put airplane mode on. Because you don't want just your phone buzzing all night. Like, you don't want that, okay? And then this is like the main thing. So 48 plus hours in between muscle groups, cold room, and a warm shower before sleeping. You might be thinking, what? How's that going to make a difference? Try it. Literally try it this evening. Make your room cold and have a warm shower before going to bed. There are so many studies on this. And when you have a warm shower and then you get into the cold room, like, you'll be so like snuggled up, you will sleep like a baby from that, okay? So now we have consistency through standards, right? I didn't just eat 10 eggs and 500 grams of mince fresh from the womb, right? That didn't just happen, okay? Like, I didn't just decide I'm going to get jacked. This is what I'm going to do. No. Okay, if you can't eat 10 eggs, eat 6 eggs, right? If you can't eat a 500-gram pack of ground beef mince, eat half and get the protein in elsewhere, okay? Get back on the horse immediately if you miss a session or diet, okay? Track what matters. Body weight trends, protein and strength numbers, right? And calories. So the most important thing is you know that framework of what you're tracking. And if you can't stick to the 10 eggs, what I do, you do 6. Because if you have 10 eggs a day, okay, and then you don't stick to it 3 days later, what's the point? Like, what is the actual point of eating all those eggs and then you can't even stick to it? You're going to go right back to square one, right? So you need to pick an amount of eggs you can eat every day, which has to be 6 or more. If you eat 5, that's fine, but I think you could probably push yourself to get 6, right? If I'm being brutally honest, 6 eggs is like really fucking easy to eat, and you're going to notice huge benefits. Like, even if you're on a deep cut, you should be eating 6 eggs with the yolks. All the necessary nutrients, alright? I'm not going to go into it as I have 100,000 times on my account. Like, when you get every single micronutrient from the egg yolks, except for vitamin C, you know you need to be eating that every single day, okay? And if you miss a session or diet, get back on the horse immediately. Don't cry about it like a little baby, right? In my opinion, there's no excuse to be missing a training session. But if you have an event, or you have calls all day, or you have some work or whatever, and you don't train or don't hit your diet, get back on it the next day, right? You should be the guy who's meal prepping the day before, but we're human. Sometimes we fail, and you need to get back on it and not go over, not fret about it, right? That's the main aim. Okay, so why this finally stuck? For years, I had information, right? But what I didn't have was structure. Once everything was organized into clear systems like training, food, recovery, consistency, progress stopped being something I hoped for and it started being inevitable. Do you understand what I mean by that? I didn't just train and hope I looked good. I trained and I knew I looked good, okay? That was when my physique stopped feeling temporary and started becoming new normal. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. If you're not getting the results for your effort, you're plateauing in the gym, whether that's for a few months or for a few years, and you're unable to master your understanding of food, and are wanting to gain tons of muscle, get and keep a six pack permanently, not just get there and then lose it a couple weeks after, and are serious about me personally implementing this system within your life, you can book a one-on-one call in the description. Or if you already have a call booked, just make sure that you're ready to take action, this is something you're serious about, and that you're ready to make this a priority within your life. Because I only work with a few people at once, and I would be sick if I'm working with someone and they haven't made it a priority within their own life. So thank you for watching, and for the few of you that are actually ready to take action, I'm pumped to get you ripped.